Hey everybody, Mike D here. We're in the Lunkerville Lounge at ICAST 2015. And this is where we hold a contest and give away a trip to Lunkerville. We ask folks here for their favorite, fondest, or funkiest fishing memory, fish story. And the best story, that person wins their own episode of the show. But the man I got here, he doesn't need his own episode of Lunkerville. It's Roland Martin, the third legend.
How you doing, son? I'm doing good.
Now, I called you the third legend. That's only because you're the third one that we've interviewed.
It's funny.
Are you first, second, or third?
In the deal, if you look at our business cards on the three legends, it's Bill Dance and Jimmy Houston and I. If you look at our business card, it'll say Bill Dance, #1 legend, Jimmy Houston, #1 legend, and Roland Martin, #1 legend. So
yes. Hey,
we all call ourselves the #1 legend. So that's the way we do it.
What I'd love to hear is a fishing tale or a fishing story.
God, there's so
we got a great
many
one from Bill, from Jimmy. What do you got? Some childhood memory or something wacky that happened to you?
It's kind of a funny story. It involved one of the most memorable fishing trips I ever had in my life, when President George W. Bush asked me to come to Crawford to do a film with him. And we did. We did this beautiful film. And the funny part about it was, as we fished in the lake, Robert, the ranch manager and the president, had put these FADs out. These are fish attracting devices.
But what is it?
It's just a big tree-looking thing that's in the water.
Oh, so it's a structure.
It's a structure underneath the water, and so that's what we call our fish in the film.
That's great.
So the press secretary that year invited Judy and I to Christmas dinner for the Christmas for the president. So I walked in line. This is like the most important thing I've ever done in my life. So I walked up to the president. I said, Mr. President. He said, hi, Roland. I said, I just heard that Robert said you caught your biggest bass. He said, yeah, I caught an 814. Now here's where it gets really tricky and funny. The president's saying to me, I caught an 814 off the FAD in the southeast sector. And I heard this guy behind me, he says, they're talking secret missile talk. This is the highest level secret stuff I've ever heard in my life. I mean, this is FAD sectors and stuff. And it's like, and he kept talking, and it was so funny because I said, well, what was it on? He said a 5-inch Senko. So at the end of the thing, I leave the line and I go just a few feet, and I said, oh, Mr. President. He said, he turned up and he's shaking somebody else's hand. I said, Mr. President. He said, what's that, Roland? I said, I forgot to tell you, but that film we did was a complete success. He said, well, how's that, Roland? Why is that? I said, well, sir, it got you reelected.
Yeah, right here, man.
So, anyway, but it was, that's sweet.
And I love that he caught the fish on a 5-inch Senko.
Yeah.
One of the most successful baits. Let's talk about the Senko for a bit.
Oh, God, I can tell you so much about it.
Tell me why you think that lure is so successful. It's my favorite bait, the stick bait.
To tell you how successful it is, I've worked with Yamamoto for a number of years. They finally told me this year, please don't promote the Senko anymore. We just can't make any more of them. They have one machine. All it does for 24 hours a day, one giant big machine as big as this whole studio here, it's just going, and every 42 seconds,
with that sound.
like, I don't know what it does. All these Senkos fall out, and it makes one color in one size. It makes a 297 green pumpkin 5-inch Senko. Every 42 seconds, 60 of them fall out. It runs 24 hours a day. It runs 7 days a week, all year long. The whole entire year, it produces millions.
In the fish's mind, what is the fish thinking that if they see a Senko or they see a worm, why they go after that Senko so often? What is there? Can you theorize?
I can't figure it out.
Is it?
I told Gary when I started working with him 15 years ago. He had that new idea of a new lure, and he wanted to show it to me. And it was the Senko. He had a prototype of it. Yeah. And he had built it because he had a old ballpoint pen. He stuck it in the mold somehow, and he got this thing out.
So there is truth to that. It was a ballpoint pen.
And he said, yeah, and that's what he came. That's how he did it with the ballpoint pen that he originally made the mold out of. And he handed me one, and I said to Gary, I'm a professional fisherman, and I've been asked to evaluate a lot of lures in my day. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you come out with this stupid looking lure, it's going to kill your company. It's the worst, ugliest, nastiest looking lure I've ever seen in my life. I said, don't bring it on the market. The Senko, it's not going to sell. It's ugly.
Yeah.
No, I don't know why they bite it. I really,
Okay, I have a theory. Just tell me if you think, just from watching it like in these tanks, when you see these tanks of bass and you see the crankbait, you see the worms, you see the Senkos, do the fish just think it's a big, easy meal that doesn't have any appendages, that it's going to be easy to swallow? You see a Senko and it's slowly, and they get a chance to look.
You're trying to match the hatch. And that whole concept of matching the hatch works in a lot of things. It works with a weedless frog. It works with a jig looking like a crawfish. But a spinnerbait throws the match of the hatch out the window. And in a way, a Senko kind of throws the match in the hatch. It doesn't
what is it
look
supposed
like
to look
anything.
like?
It doesn't look like anything.
It does. I mean, they don't eat. I mean, a little snake. Are there that many little snakes?
No.
But you see the way they react in a tank, and it's just weird how they just assault it. They just can't handle it. I don't know, but I love it.
Yeah, it's a many mystery thing. Yeah.
Well, Roland, thanks for taking the time. I know it's busy. You got a lot of appointments. I love your show. You're a legend. You're an inspiration, and
thanks
a lot, man.
Appreciate
for being on the
it.
show.
Thank you.
Take care.